Now, since I'm eating alone, I get to decide which one I want. This guy had in my heart from the beginning. Ideal bite has a little bit of everything. Taste sensation to another planet. Hey guys, it's Carla. I'm here today in my kitchen for a very special secret sneak peek behind the scenes advanced recipe never seen before. Recipes for my new book. That sounds so good. This recipe that I'm gonna demo is one of more than 50 vegetarian recipes in the book. So there's 100 recipes in the book and like half of them are vegetarian. I wasn't even trying to make them vegetarian. It's just a way that I really love to cook. The name of this recipe is seared sweet potatoes with kale and lime pickle. This is from the Monday through Thursday section, and the chapter that this recipe is in is called Burning Clean. You know when you have one of those weekends where you just like eat and drink the whole time, and then Monday rolls around and you're like, well, I'm still hungry, but I feel sort of horrible. I just need to burn clean. I love orange and green foods together, especially in the fall. So this is an example of that. And it's also using one of my favorite things, a sweet potato. Really important ingredient is the lime pickle. And then there's just kale for like heftiness and a delicious like labna limey swoosh and crunchy walnuts. Find it super satisfying. So this one comes together super quickly and it's crazy easy. So the first thing you'll want to do is steam your sweet potatoes. We have a few different varieties. So these are purple sweet potatoes or ube. We have like regular sweet potatoes. Garnet yam, even though it's not a yam, it's going to be sold to you as a yam. The Japanese sweet potato has a special place in my heart. So creamy, so delicious, so sweet. Red on the outside, yellow in the inside. So these are the sweet potatoes after they've been steamed. I like steaming because it keeps them really moist and they don't get that like weird dried out leathery thing that can sometimes happen from a roasted sweet potato. All right, so now that they're peeled, I'm going to just use my hands again and tear these into raggedy pieces. The reason I tear them is just to make more surface area, which has more texture. I kind of like how rustic they look and it's easy and you're already peeling them with your hands anyway. I'm gonna set these aside till it's time to cook them. So the other things that you can do in your sweet potato steamy time is toast the walnuts. I did these at 350 for about 10 minutes just till they start to get aromatic. I'm gonna make a couple of little condiments to go with the finished dish. Really important ingredient is the lime pickle. It is so flavorful. Lime pickle is an Indian fermented salted pickle that's made with limes. So it's super tangy, super sour, pungent. It packs such a punch that its flavor makes the dish. I want to taste them. I think I love this one the most. It's fortifying. It's sour. It's so good, this guy. Really tastes of fennel in that one. And it's a little bit spicier. Ooh, I like you. This one's really hot. Also delicious. The most spicy. I'm gonna try this guy today. Whatever lime pickle you come across in your life, you can use. Other things that you can use would be like a spicy mango pickle. Eyeballing 2 tablespoons, and you can see the actual pieces of the lime in this one. You could just add the lime pickle to the kale after sauteing it. I found that if you combine it with a little bit of water, it just helps it kind of spread around in the pan and not just right away stick to the bottom of the pan. Also, having a little bit of available water at the end of sauteing the kale will add a little burst of steam to the kale cooking and it'll help soften it. So that we won't need till later. And then the other little sauce I'm gonna make is this little lime labna. Labna is a strained yogurt. So basically like there's yogurt and then you strain it and that's the texture of Greek yogurt. And then if you kept straining it, it would be labna. So Greek yogurt is a really good sub for this. 2/3 of a cup. I'm gonna add the juice of one lime, or until I like the way it tastes. If you don't have a lime, use a lemon. If you don't have a lemon, put a splash of vinegar in here. You just want a little something to amp up the tanginess and also kind of bring a freshness to it. You've got this like deeply fermented, been through a whole life transformation lime pickle, and then you're bringing some just like fresh fruit, juicy lime vibes. He's like, I'm a fresh young lime, and the other lime is like, I've been through it. He's just at the beginning of his journey as a lime. Whereas the pickle's fate, I mean, you can have so many more adventures. I guess I'd rather be the pickle, the sunset of my life. This is just gonna go on the plate, so I don't need to do anything else with it. Kale. This is Tuscan kale. It is beautiful and delicious. Red Russian kale will work, curly kale will work, any of those other crucifers will also work. This is how I prep kale. Super easy, you don't even need a knife. You wanna grip the leaves on either side of the stem with your pinchers and then just unzip. And then what you get left with is that guy and a couple of these guys. So once you have it, this way, tear 2 to 3 inch pieces, 2 bunches of kale. It looks like a lot, so I'm just gonna eyeball it when everything goes into the pan. So stripped, torn, washed, fluffed, dried, set aside. This is one of the few times where I actively choose a nonstick skillet, and they're good for a few things besides eggs, and this is one of them. Searing the sweet potatoes, because there's so much natural sugar in the sweet potato, they will totally want to stick to a regular skillet. So if you have a nonstick, choose it. So I have my beautiful washed and cleaned and dried kale. I'm gonna use olive oil, and I'm just eyeballing about 2 tablespoons. So this is hot, it's over medium high, just adding the kale. If your skillet isn't this big and you can't fit all the kale in at once, just do it in handfuls and toss them a little bit until they wilt, and then you'll have more room. Salt. If it feels like it's going too fast and the kale is getting brown before it's getting tender, just lower the heat. And if you really want to slow things down, add a splash of water. Now it's juicy, but it's tender. I have a few brown spots, which I really like. The seasoning is great. So this is just going in. You can really smell all of the aromatics that are in the lime pickle. Those mustardy flavors, the sourness, like once it hit the pan, all of that is released. Again, if you're not ready in your life to go to the lime pickle place, you can just do the sauteed kale. I would definitely add like maybe some chili flake to it, just something to give it like a little more dimension than just sauteed greens. Or I feel like you could chop up kimchi and use that instead. You would still get like a really vibrant, pungent sourness. Rinsing out this pan. We're gonna use it again. All right, so going back over like medium high. The pan is already hot from cooking the kale, and I'm going to add the remainder of the olive oil, which is a tablespoon. I'm gonna salt these because they're gonna go down craggy side down, like that torn inside side. And you definitely wanna hear a sizzle. If you don't hear the sizzle, wait until the pan is hotter. So now because I've got that like craggy, little bit of uneven surface, I do want to take a spatula and press, because I want the browning, I want that surface area to make contact, not only with the pan, but with the hot oil, which is actually delivering the heat from the pan to the ingredient itself. Once you press down with your spatula, you can just let it go and press on it occasionally, or you can use your griddle press or your pressy downy. And if you haven't watched a pressy downy video, treat yourself. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so again, another advantage of having torn instead of just flat cut is that the parts that were more jagged. The tops of the potato mountains are more brown. And then you've got a gradient of like super charred around the edge. And then in the little valleys of the torn parts of the sweet potato, it's more pale. You're getting a lot of flavors, multiple different flavors, same vegetable. That's it. She's done. Now we just put it all together. Take it to the plate. I like having the lavin on the bottom so you can kind of scoop your fork through it. This is dinner for two. I'm just gonna get it out to the edge. Smells so good. There's a whole little piece of lime there. I'm very happy with that guy. He's kind of has it all. Yum, sweet potato delight. Add a little bit of flaky salt just on the sweet potatoes to give them extra little pop. And these are my toasted walnuts. If you don't have walnuts, use almonds, pecans, cashews. You could even do toasted pumpkin seeds. That would be in the fall vibes. And I'm just gonna top it off. All right, that's it. Now, since I'm eating alone, I get to decide which one I want. This guy had my heart from the beginning, so I'm eating him. Ideal bite has a little bit of everything. The thing that gets me is the cooling dairy with the spicy sour pickle, and then that sweetness behind it is just like taste sensation to another planet. I mean, the lime has completed its journey, and the ones that have left the roost, right, now have actually had their whole life's potential to end up here with me and with you. I think that they came out of that jar for a really good reason, and I'm glad that they were chosen. I'm gonna eat this bite also. In conclusion, get the book, make the thing, eat the meal, and just be a happy person. That's all I have to say.